all those Christian prayers work quite well. I know people who were
like
quite into...
the Lord's Prayer?
There's even more specific prayers.
G'day everyone. So I had a really interesting and deep and really weird conversation with Julian Palmer, the inventor of changa. I'd highly recommend watching our first video, which is already uploaded on our channel. Link is in the description. In this video, Julian talks about the dangers of spiritual entities while under the influence of psychedelics and how to protect yourself. And as I've stated, I'll be uploading short clips over the next few weeks. Feel free to like this video and share it around, and consider supporting us on Patreon so we can continue making this kind of content for you guys. Just so you know, my audio jack on my camera completely screwed up, but I did put subtitles throughout this video, so it shouldn't be a problem. Anyways, enjoy. Much love.
We're seeing all these people who think they know everything. It's like that most arrogant younger brother perspective,
Yes.
you know.
Yes.
That oh, we got this sorted! Yay, psilocybin! You know.
Yeah, and again, it's like that. Any sort of like old religious idea, it's kind of scoffed at.
That's
like,
right,
oh, that's just
silly
primitive stuff.
Yes.
We should listen to the 21st century scientists.
Right. It's research that they will tell us the truth.
Yeah, it's good to hear you say that it's dangerous to scoff at these kind of ideas, because I remember when I had my my infamous Iboga trip and had a crazy existential crisis, gone through really dark spiritual roads, and when I was talking about this, I got a lot of hate from the community, basically saying that I shouldn't be spreading anything negative towards these kind of substances, and like basically just absolutely sending a lot of negativity, hate and aggressiveness my way, while I was in a very vulnerable place. So it's like, man, I thought you guys were supposed to show me love in these kind of scenarios, you know? So.
Well, that's it. We do need to appreciate and understand that psychedelics will really catalyze people into these really deep and dark places.
Reality.
And like HPPD you were talking about before. And that's part of the reason why people should take them, to kind of dredge up and see what's there and uncover it, but it's going to take a lot of work to process that. And I think this kind of marketing campaign, but just, oh, you take the psychedelic pill and you're going to cure your PTSD and fix your depression, no worries, but keep on trucking. It's quite counterproductive.
Well, it's kind of very polarized dialectic trap that people fall into, of like, it's either this all in here or we got to go the complete other way, you know?
Yeah.
It's like we're lacking nuance.
Exactly. That's the N word we've got to use a lot.
So in terms of, let's say, protecting yourself, all right? So before we get into, all right, you've opened up the door, you've got a parasite. Let's go into how does one protect themselves before going into these realms?
Yeah, I think awareness is the first step, and having an awareness that you are opening yourself up, and that brings you to a psychological state in your own energy body and in your own consciousness, whereby you need to have an awareness that you need to bring your innate shielding, because we do have innate shielding and we do have an almost subconscious ability to shield ourselves. And the thing is, when we take psychedelics, some of that shielding it's not necessarily occurring in the same way, so our shields are down. So
it's like the dissolving the boundaries, right?
Yes. So we have an awareness that shields are down, then we can be more conscious of what the dangers might be. And it's like when you get really drunk, that will do the same thing. It will bring down those shields. That's why they call them hard liquor spirits. And I think it's something to really pay attention to and be aware of. And I think that's why traditional religion has been so anti-alcohol, because of that effect. They have seen that the malevolence can come in more easily when people are drinking alcohol, especially in larger quantities.
The Western mind, we only look at like whatever happened the last 50 years or whatever, the last generation, and we don't look further back. We think we're kind of above human history in a sense.
Exactly,
you know what I mean? Like, oh, that won't happen to us. We're more civilized, but the same human patterns repeat throughout history, always. Right?
I mean, it's so common that people have these stories of growing up as a kid and dad would come back from the pub and beat up mum and then beat them up. I mean, it's almost a cliche, those kind of stories, and that kind of violence just doesn't happen for no reason. a lot of the time there's entities working through people that would cause a lot of that violence and, you know, issues like sexual abuse.
People will even intuitively say, like, I wasn't myself, or that wasn't you.
Yeah, yeah.
It's hidden in plain sight, even just the language that we use.
But I think that all traditional cultures have used incense as a way. When you see these mozzies, get away! They actually come around this time. All traditional cultures have used incense as a way to dispel and protect the space from entities. It's something about the sweetness of
like
the smell,
myrrh and frankincense,
and the
all
smoke, which prevents them from getting too close.
Yeah, it's so true. Every culture uses that in some form, doesn't it?
Yep. Yeah. So that's a useful tool to have.
Okay.
To burn incense. One of the most basic techniques of self-defense is called Sopla.
Sopla.
Which is what they do in
blowing.
Amazon. The blowing, yeah. I mean, you hear people in ayahuasca groups trying to be cool. They make the sound like shh. Ayahuasca. Yeah.
Dude, you tapped into that archetype so well.
I've seen it so many times.
You've morphed into that.
But it's actually, if there's an entity around you, you can blow at it. It's not like you're going to be like. That's not the way to do it. Have you seen puff and you puff, blow your house down, blowing.
Yeah.
It's all like, that's how you're going to really blow at them most effectively.
Okay, like.
So
like using more like your diaphragm kind of.
And you can
power.
even kill them with that. But before you get to killing them, they will go away. They'll generally go away. They don't like it. They'll go away.
Wow. Would this work with any level entity? Even like the head honchos? What about Satan himself?
No. Leave Satan alone. leave the poor guy alone. He's actually... He's not as bad as people say he is, you know. I'm not a Satanist, but, you know...
Satanist confirmed.
He's just a fallen angel, you know. We gotta see him who he is. No, the ones that come in like a freight train, which are very heavy and big, the ones that I might encounter, which probably most people are not going to encounter because you kind of... They're at the big boss level. You have to kind of disturb a lot of the little guys before you get the big guys.
There's a hierarchy, right?
Definite hierarchy. But the really big ones, they're not even going to really notice when you do that. The general but the ones that
like
you'll generally
the minions,
come
the
across,
orcs, I guess.
The ones that most people come across, supply will work. And you can kill them as well. Maybe after a minute or 3 of doing that, you can kill them.
Is there any other, let's say, maybe affirmations or words or prayer or something like that that can help?
Well, I think all those Christian prayers work quite well. I know people who were like quite into...
the Lord's Prayer?
There's even more specific prayers that show you.
There is a lot, yeah.
There is a lot.
A lot.
And if you look through all those old prayers, they work. They work well.
Why do you think that works well? Even for people who aren't Christians and they just kind of say these things in a time of desperation?
I think they have a morphic historical imprint. You can also call on spirits as well from other traditions.
Oh, yeah.
You can call on Hindu deities, for example. That can work if you know the mantras. And those Sanskrit mantras, you can look them all up on YouTube. There's a lot of these channels for protecting yourself from evil spirits. If you learn those mantras, they work well too. A lot of those Sanskrit chants, you're calling in these, what we call Hindu deities, and they'll come and do some karate chops on whatever is worrying you.
Some epic Dragon Ball Z fight.
Yeah, so that can work out well.
Okay.
That's definitely effective.
Well, because I hear even angels, like archangels, right?
That's right. The
Virgin Mary, if you want, I suppose.
And some people will develop relationships with certain beings who they can call on, who can protect them. I reckon some people have protected beings, bodyguards in the spirit world, with them 24/7.
I feel like I did. I shouldn't have gotten out of there. So thank God, you know.
But, yeah, I've been in some hectic situations when I've had You know, I've been helped by other spirit beings who've come in and helped me. We shouldn't discount the vibrational stories and songs that people have traditionally used, like the prayers that call in assistance from these higher beings like angels and deities and what have you.
So in a sense, I think even in Christianity they call those prayers like, it's like putting on the armor of God.
Really?
In a sense, you know, it's
Okay.
like or light armor if you want to use more new agey terms.
I think we were in the West, we're in the early days of this understanding, and I think there's a lot more entities out there that we could certainly call upon and have an understanding of. So yeah, I think it's kind of early days in our understanding in the West of how to deal with this phenomenon.
Yeah.
But I definitely don't think we should discount how people have traditionally done it. For many other cultures, and not just write them off.
Exactly, and especially that we're standing on the shoulders of these giants, you know. Like even a lot of the movies that we watch today wouldn't exist if it wasn't for like, you could pretty much tie it back to like scripture, basically.
Yeah.
A lot of these heroes' journey and all these movies that we watch, and Lord of the Rings and
Yep.
Star Wars and all these movies that people love deep
Yeah.
within their heart. It's like, where do you think those stories come from?
That's right. That's right.
You think we just invented it at the moment from nothing? But it goes to show like that kind of arrogance and pride of like, we don't need none of that. This is all, that's all bull crap.
Yeah.
Can you share actually like the most craziest negative entity experience that you've had? And how did that affect your life? And how did you get out of it?
Quite a high-pitched, loud sound that works like a bullet that kills them. And
What kind of high pitch? Like a whistle or
I
like
do the demo. Alright, you ready?
a...